Can you think a Pope of Rome placement the decaying dead of his forerunner on test? Or setting the papal himself up for selling? So, story tells us how papacy did all how and more than at a period while they seemingly play by a really various set of rules. There are 8 papacy they'll discover in the story books for all the incorrect reasons. Pope of Rome Alexander VI unborn as Rodrigo Borja Clos Valencia, Spain, in 1431. Period in force, 1492 to 1503. And he was seemingly rather the lady person, fathering several family in his lot mistresses. Pope of Rome Stephen VI unborn as childbirth behalf, day and homeland unidentified. Period in force, May 896 August 897. Which he did. Pope of Rome Stephen VI did not include a sociable relation in his forerunner, Pope of Rome form OSUs. And how setting it benevolently. While Stephen came to force, form OSUs had already been corpse for months, but possessing his foe 6 feet by was not quite penalty for the new Pope of Rome. He's secure to say the sentence didn't go for Moss's path, so Stephen commanded his flesh be drawn via the gateway of Rome and discarded in the Tiber inland. Although he won the as-called corpse test, Stephen was choked to die by one of his enemies hardly more than rather than a year after. Pope of Rome innkeeper 8 unborn as Benedetto Citani in Rome, about 1235. Period in force, 1294 to 1303. Which he did, in his my way or the railway attitude to the papal. Pope of Rome innkeeper 8 had a skill for start fights. Amongst his lot enemies was the author Dante Alighieri, whose critique of the chapel led to his expulsion of Florence, Italy, at the hands of innkeeper's associates. In 1302, innkeeper given a pontifical ox, the chapel's period for informal declaration, that located Europe's royal and their armies by his high team. Lot rulers may include named ox on the, particularly Philip, who orderly innkeepers sees following he trapped breeze of the Pope of Rome's plans to separate him. Pope of Rome City 6 unborn as Bartolomeo Prignano in Naples, Italy, about 1318. Period in force, 1378 to 1389. Which he did, while yours possession burst into tears the chapel in couple, believe yours place on the no a large Pope of Rome listing provided. Pope of Rome Leo X unborn as Giovanni de' Medici in Florence, Italy, in 1475. Period in force, 1513 to 1521. Which he did, a term of Italy's strong Medici household. Pope of Rome Leo X had a flavor for the more subtle things in lifetime. To assist balance sheet the books, he relied hard on the selling of indulgences, that is branching above cash to the chapel to buy pardon for sins or, to get a corpse family member out of purification. You might recall of story grade how the pay-in for penance schema indignant lot, consisting Martin Luther, whose 95 Theses sparked the evangelical transformation and tore separately the Roman Catholic chapel. Pope of Rome John 12 unborn as Ottaviano in Rome, about 937. Period in force, 955 to 964. Which he did, he was just on 18 while he became Pope of Rome, and story claims how John 12 ran the chapel in a way thou de weight of a hormone adolescent in huge force. Any release you trust, John 12 was certainly not idle, and myth has it he dead of a course making which he favourite, in else person's woman. Pope of Rome Benedict 9 unborn as Theophylactus in Rome, about 1012. Period in force, 1032 to 1044, April-May 1045, 1047 to 1048. His at first incantation as Pope of Rome ended in him escaping Rome following a countryman uprising erupted above his forcible behavior. He later came behind in force for a other skimp but sold out the papal to his godfather, who became Pope of Rome Gregory VI. But Benedict was yet not completed. He refundable to Rome year after, recovered the altar and later lose it once again following Deutsche armies eventually engraved him out of Rome for Nice. Pope of Rome Sergius III unborn as Sergius in Rome. Childbirth day is unidentified. Period in force, 904 to 911. Which he did, as a boyfriend of Pope of Rome Stephen VI of corpse test popularity. It should go as slight surprise party how Sergius III was as well not a large Pope of Rome. Same's as well told by several to be the dad of Pope of Rome John XI, the food of Sergius relation in a ancient Roman man mentioned Marotia.